Hi and welcome to this screencast on using the debugger. A bug in your program is when there's a mistake of some sort in your program that makes it not work or compute the wrong results. Some bugs can be very difficult to find, and a very powerful tool for finding bugs is the debugger. So today I'm going to say a little bit about different types of bugs that you might encounter and how you can use the debugger to find them. To demonstrate this, I'm going to use the solution to the bacteria growth problem. And we have that here. So there can be many different types of bugs in a program. So some bugs are more easy to find than others. So as you know, you should always test your program. So let me just add a bit of code here at the end, which will actually just run a test. It's going to call the function with a set of input arguments and print out the result. And this is the example given in the text. I know the result should be 7. And if I run my code, I get the correct result out here. So now if I have a bug in my code, the bug could be so big that the program will actually not run. So for example, if I here assign to t the value of another variable that doesn't exist. So now I assign to t something from a variable that simply doesn't exist. There's no variable with this name. Then when I run my program, Python is actually going to write a very nice error description over here. So take a look at this. So it actually tells me exactly where the error happened here in my bacteria growth.py at line 7. It says name error, name does not exist, is not defined. So basically it's telling me where the error occurred and what the error was. And in this case it's pretty easy to go in and check the code and make sure that that bug is fixed. Right. So those types of errors can be fairly easy to find, but more difficult bugs can be pretty hard to track down. So sometimes your program will actually run, but it will just produce a wrong result. In that case, it's a very good idea to use the debugger. The debugger is something that's built into Spider, and it allows you to stop your program at any point and then run it line by line and see what goes on, see what happens. So to make the program stop, you create what's called a breakpoint simply by double-clicking out here by the line number. So when I double-click here at this line, I get this red dot that indicates that my program is going to stop when it reaches this point. Now instead of pressing run, I'm going to press debug file. And this means that the program is going to run in debug mode. And now once it's run in debug mode, I'm just going to press this button that's called continue until next breakpoint. So now the program is going to run until it reaches this point here in the program. So it's going to call this print of where it calls the function, and then when it calls the function it goes in here and stops. So now we can see the program has actually stopped here. It's indicated by this background color on this line. We can also see over here where it stopped in the source code. And now I can see the value of all my variables. These are my input arguments. These are the only ones I have so far. Now I can simply press this button, run current line, or Control F10. And when I press that, it's going to execute that line of code and move on to the next. So now it executed t equals 0, created t. Now when I press it again, Control F10, it will create the variable nt and set it's equal to 100. And then I can simply continue to press Control F10, and all the time I can sort of track what is happening in the program, what happens to my variables, how are they updated, and then I can go through all the program and see what happens. And this is a very good way to actually discover what goes on, how are the variables updated inside a loop, for example, and to discover if there's a mistake somewhere.